Hi friends, hosts Eric and Rachel are here tonight with you to talk about performance evaluation of Erik Thor's recent video. And we'll get into these circles behind me here, very colorful circles, and what they mean in a second. But let's start with the first media source, sometimes known as media source 2.
And what matters to me the most is that you're able to see me, that you're able to see my feelings, to understand my experiences, to understand why I drew the conclusions I did, and why I have the values that I do.
Do you see his feelings? I see them. He seems fatalistically amused. Would that be a good description of his feelings?
I just want to put it out there that I was looking online at a similar jacket recently.
All right, so why is that the most important thing? Well, because think about it. He's evaluating his own performance in terms of effort, impact, and grace, just like we have in these circles here. And he's basically saying it's most important that he be perceived, successfully at least, as graceful. That this not devolve into a shouting contest between people arguing about what type he is, basically.
Most importantly, I'm going to stop trying to tell you what the truth is, what the answer is, what the one definitive solution is.
So basically, he's going to meta up. He's saying, he's like, instead of telling you what the right things about typology are, I'll go with you along a correct kind of journey about exploring these ideas. And of course, he is an INFJ, and he just can't handle the heat in this kitchen. This typology kitchen is full of idiots spewing nonsense at him, and he's trying to be graceful. The only way to be graceful to idiots is to metaphorically kick them in the mouth. You know? Now, that doesn't mean if you look like you've been metaphorically kicked in the mouth that you're an idiot, okay? I don't know if you can see that. I'm a victim of a recent polar bear attack. Let's go on to the next media source. That would be media source 4.
In the end, I know myself, and I hope that other people will see me and who I am as deeply and as truly and as honestly as possible. And I will do my best to be honest and transparent with everyone about who I am.
I see you so deeply right now, I can barely touch the floor. Why is it important that people see you deeply and truly and meow? I don't really know, but I guess that for another type than my own, that makes some sense. I want people to acknowledge my rightness, which is very different than wanting them to see me truly or whatever. Right? It's like, it doesn't even make any sense as an evaluation metric, really, to me. Do you feel that desire to have people see you truly and meowing?
I think he's going through. No.
Puberty?
No, I don't. I think he's just like meowing, and I think INFJs tend to question their type at some point.
He's fed up with the bullshit right now.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's got a lot of it because he.
Well, he says that he's a public INFJ. Yeah. Any public INFJ is going to get a lot of, you're not an INFJ, from idiots who don't have any idea. Regardless of whether you are or not, you're going to get that. All right, let's go on to the next. What's it called? That's right, media source. Let's try, I know, media source 5.
In objective personality, I'm known as an ENTP. I know there's a large group of people out there that believe I'm an ENFP. I know that there are some people in socionics that argue that I'm an ESFP. I know that there are some people out there that believe that I'm an INFP. I know that there are some people out there still that think I'm an INTP, and I know a lot of you will still think of me as an INFJ. And you know, at this point, something I really learned is that I must stop being so defensive about my label. I must stop being so defensive about my identity.
Okay, well, I mean, a lot of people out there think their asshole is the source of bread and butter. That's not a good reason to conclude that everybody's equally right about things and or meow meow meow. But what he's really saying is, I can't navigate this course and engage in mostly graceful interactions with people who are willing to afford me the benefit of the doubt that I'm an INFJ. He is an INFJ, by the way. I've always said this. He definitely is an INFJ. And it doesn't matter. There's no in OP. He's an ENTP. Well, then OP doesn't mean anything when he says ENTP, right? DSP doesn't mean anything. ENTP means extroverted intuition, first slot, and that means introverted intuition fifth. It means all the things that it means, and those things mean specific things. If you call him an ENTP, then you are wrong. It's not you're right in your system. You're just plain fucking wrong and incredibly wrong. And if your system validates that, your system's incredibly stupid, right? Because there's not different people have a system. There's different people trying to explain the same phenomenon with some explanation that either makes sense or doesn't. The ultimate explanation that ultimately makes sense will become the explanation. But at the moment, there are a lot more dumb people in the field than there are smart people, as in any demographic, really. But it's a higher percentage of people unqualified to talk about typology talking about typology than in most areas where qualification matters or understanding matters. In some areas it doesn't matter, in some areas it does. It does here. People are treating it as though it doesn't. All right, let's go on to the next media source. That would be media source 6. Yeah.
Beyond that, I'm done trying to create my own model or system. I'm not going to try to sell you all on my own logic or my way of doing things or how I do things. Instead, I'm going to set out to explore all the different systems out there, to understand their approaches and help you sift through all the different information, all the different resources and all the different explanations to help you understand what approach works best for you.
Okay, well, that's fine if you're talking about like how to strengthen your core or something, because people's bodies are all individualist in ways that you may have a good heuristic or whatever for how to get stronger stomach muscles, but whether or not that approach is going to work for the individual is going to have to be determined by the individual. You're treating typology as though it were like exercise, but it's not like exercise at all. Instead, it's an explanation of why and how people are the way they are, differ from each other, and group into sets of similarities via attentional manners. There's one correct explanation of it, and everything that deviates from that is incorrect. So you talk about wanting to explore the typology community, get typologists, talk to them about their systems. Put me first, put me last, and call it, golden bookends around garbage, because that's what it is.
I agree.
And you might say this is a lack of grace on my part because I'm being very arrogant here, but I'm not evaluating my own performance against this criteria mostly. It's sort of if this kicks in and kicks me in the ass because I'm being too ungraceful, then I regret it. It's more like that. As far as impact goes, I'm claiming I have the most impact because I'm the most correct. And that this is an area where impact and correctness link to one another unavoidably, indelibly, Have I put in the most effort? Well, yeah, in the sense that I've compiled the largest pile of meaningful empirics on actually typing people and stuff, yes. In terms of, I've compiled the largest record of generating the process of generating the correct understanding and explanation of things, right? So, in other words, I'm not in the back room secretly tinkering around to then come out and say, voila, I've got my magic thing, which you can't really understand without taking my classes, and there's a billion subtypes, and it renders definitions meaningless. But this is a definitional matter fundamentally. We got to deal with it in terms of logic and intuition first, and then we check empirics to see if you're right. Okay, so last little clip of Pew is coming up right now. You can hear it in your ears. It's me, the Source 3.
Respect you no matter how you choose to see me or how you choose to type me.
He's going to respect me no matter what I say about him. Why? I mean, if you call yourself a typologist and do an incredibly shitty job and type me wrong, and obviously you're talking out of your ass, why should I respect you? But I guess that's just the INFJ's basic core value, is that everybody deserves respect. To the extent that people are behaving as though they don't, it's because they're experiencing what? Under-realization or difficult times or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So what do you make of this, Erik Thor saying basically he's abandoning type labels?
I'm not surprised. I mean, I am, but I'm not, because I do feel that INFJs like are soul searchers, and he may be at a point in his life where, I don't know, maybe the haters have gotten to him or something, and he's really questioning things, and he wants a different kind of point of view. But I think he's just going through something.
Well, I mean, I think you nailed it. Basically, you could express it as he's gotten sick of all of the headspace that haters, wrong pedants, and other nonsense purveyors have managed to lease in his head, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel kind of fortunate. I think I'm minimally impacted by that, but I too get impacted by that. I start thinking about, God damn that comment there, muggity meow, you know.
Yeah, and I think he would probably, we're judgers, but we're actually perceivers, and I don't think that INFJs like a lot of judgment. I think it's difficult for them. So if he's been getting a lot of feedback from trolls, or just, people who feel fighty or confrontational, it could be, something that he's not interested in anymore.
And you know what, Erik Thor? You really just ought to align yourself with my understanding of things and say Erik has it correct. And then when people want to push on it, you say, well, go yell at Erik. Go talk to Erik. He's the one who's right. I can be your mentor and you can be my C.S. Joseph. Except instead of like C.S. Joseph's mentor, I'm an actual person with actual ideas. That would work out well.
That would.
You'd be better off doing that, because no matter what else, the thing you're doing, the framing that you're attempting to project here, which is that, okay, fine, it's better that there be no real explanation than I have to, or that we as a community are continually battling back and forth about these labels. That it's reducing individuals to labels and stereotypes and is always going to cause more problems than it's worth. That whole frame of reference is bullshit, because typology is not imposing false labels on people. It's not like something like race constructs, gender constructs, cultural constructs, or whatever that you can say, hey, you're reducing a member of a group you're reducing an individual into a member of a group unfairly. That's not cool. But typology doesn't work like that. You are actually reducing an individual to a member of a group fairly and accurately. And it is correct to say, if you are an ESFP, you will never be able to, and will always do a terrible job at philosophizing about cognitive functions, for example. Did I just stereotype you? No, I accurately described you based on your attentional manners. And that's just all there is to it. That's what makes typology so wonderfully distinct and amazing, and such a powerful explanation, is it allows us to meaningfully group people and to meaningfully know things about who they are as individuals based on their group label in a way that nothing else does. So, Erik Thor, I'm glad you made that video, because it made me make this video, and I think Rachel and I had fun making it. And have a pleasant day, and I'll go on your show anytime. You can interview me, I'll answer all your questions. And, aligning with me is not a bad idea, because I have no problem being the attack dog.